Can you hear us?
Yeah, can you hear us? Yeah, I can hear both of you clearly. I wanted to start on time so that I want to start before 6 so that I can be sure I'm doing it right. I'm a Gen Z or not really Gen Z with text. So I'm correct. And I know how to add people. But everybody
We
already
have
joined.
about 4 people now, I think.
Yeah. We're going to start 6 sharp. So everybody can hear me.
Yes, we can. Tony says she can hear us.
Yeah.
Hi, Tony. I'm like,
Okay. So so far we've got like 6 people. Just going to start because we have to be very like timely today. Have other engagements. So hello everyone that has joined so far, and for those that will join, maybe after like 15 minutes, if more people join, I'll just like a little more introduction and say what we're talking about because I know some people are not going to keep to time. They'll be doing Nigerian time for us. All right. So today from the poster, I hope you guys saw our poster. Before I even get into the topic, we want to be holding these live sessions from time to time, so that you guys can interact with us and engage with our blog, and so that you guys have a better idea of what we're really doing with the Olive branch and just introduce some of the new things. For those that were on our live the last time, we talked about a lot of things that will be coming up, and this is one of them. So today we're just going to be having a discussion about like a topic that we feel should be discussed. That a lot of people are, might learn one or two things or strategies from, and it's going to be about thriving in adulthood. You know, it's like we package the English thriving in adulthood, but you know how everybody's always complaining about how adulting is very difficult, how it's tough to just navigate the whole thing. So we'll be talking about that, and we'll be talking about it in different sections, maintaining relationships, the career growth, and how to balance work life, like a work life integration. So those are like the 3 aspects we'll be touching because I feel like these are the major things in this adulting that we're trying to do. I know aside getting money, we know. Let's just leave that one for living sake. Okay, so more people have joined. Again, I'm just doing a little introduction just to buy time for those of us that still play Nigerian time. So in next few, so we have 2 of my colleagues here. Please throw some lights for Ayokunle Adedipe. Like for the
you should throw light.
live,
Okay.
please throw lights. And also the second person that will be having the discussion with is Esther George.
Yeah.
I prolonged that job because I believe the last time we had this live, were you married already? Were you?
Yes, I think so.
Okay. So Esther George, Mrs. She left us. We're still single. Don't worry. Over time. overtime, which will
So
change.
I'm paving the way. I paved the way. You are
Yes,
coming.
Dr. George. So to be like an interactive section, but since I'm anchoring the program today, I'll be throwing like just stuff that I feel like we should talk about and to help to move the whole session forward. Okay, we're just 3 minutes in. I'm still just waiting for like 5 minutes. Still, let's wait for people to come in. So, how are you guys doing today? Before we start, Ayo, how are you doing today?
Ah,
A very important question, especially with this thriving adulthood we want to talk about today. How are you doing?
yeah, I'm actually fine. I'm okay. We're pushing. I think that's my trademark now. We're pushing. It's always fun. Oh yeah, fine. I'm okay. I'm
Okay.
glad to be here.
Okay. Yes, yes, yes. You look bright. You look beautiful. Well, lovely. Happy to see you. Okay. And how are you, Mrs. George? How are you doing today?
Well, I'm fine. I've been okay. Day has been going well, and as I just said, I'm pushing. I'm driving because at least this is an important topic we're talking about. So it's like all encompassing. So with what's going on now, so I'm pushing. Yeah, that goes grace.
Great.
But I'm good.
So which aspect are you like more excited to talk about today? The relationship. Which out of the three aspects, which one do you really feel is the one that's like really hard to navigate, or hard to hard to navigate in this adulthood? Is it the relationship, trying to maintain your relationships? Is it trying to like the career growth, or like balancing your work and your life? Which one do you feel is like
I Okay. So I think for me, I would say, but like trying to think, how do I strike a balance? What do I do? I think that's where I'm on right now.
okay, great, great, great. How about you, Ayo?
Yeah, I think for me it's like work and life. It's just a lot. There's always a lot, and my own personal life also. So I think that's one part for me.
Okay. Great, 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 great. Okay, well, I think we've given like 5 minutes. Some people have left, some people have joined, so we'll just go ahead and go straight into the reason why we're here today, the discussion. Okay. So since we've already like started it in a way, we talked about this work-life integration. It seems like that's like the major thing that is causing an issue. We're trying to like balance it. We're working, and then we're also trying to, I think it kind of encompasses the other two as well, maintaining the relationship and career growth. So we can start with that. So what would you say, I'll start with you, Ayo. What would you say a work-life balance means to you?
Okay. So
Like if I have my work life, or what exactly is this work life balance thing you do?
but I think is I had to change that term for myself because I realized that I don't believe in this work life balance thing. I believe in work life integration. How? So I believe that when we are waiting for balance, it's like we keep pushing one thing for the other. Like, oh, done with school, and when I'm done with school, I'll start this. Then when I'm done with that, I'll start this. And when I'm done with this, I'll start that. And I feel like if we keep pushing things like that, there will be no perfect time. There will be no like, oh, this is the time for me to start this thing. So I decided to use the term work life integration for myself because I feel like you just have to find a way to make it all work. And it's possible to make it all work. Like, you don't need to push one thing for the other, especially when you have like supportive people around you. You can decide that, okay, you are doing your master's now, and at the same time, you can be doing another course, you can be doing a certification course, you can also be married, and you can also be raising kids. Are you going to wait till you're done with your master's before you say, oh, that's when I want to get married, or that's when I want to raise children? I believe it's an integration. It all comes together to form this wonderful piece. So that's what I have to say.
Okay, great, 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 great. I agree with you. I think the word integration it's also something I would agree with. What do you think, Esther? What do you think about how she put it, like the work-life integration?
Yeah, to be honest, I love that term because I think I was discussing with some people. I was like, can we ever find this balance? Because there's never a balance, and I kept saying there's no way. It's like we keep growing up finding balance. Like it's going to be, but it depends on how you view it. To be honest, but I feel like as she said, it integrating it. It may look like balance, but maybe the way we have it in our head. After this, I will do this. But it's you putting everything together and trying to just place your priorities right. A little here, what I can do here and get the best out of it. How maintaining my relationships, making sure I'm thriving in all the aspects that I need to
Yeah.
show myself. I
Um,
think
I can see a comment here that said, "Oh, like the balance is still sort of like balance is not like integration in your integrating it." Let my tongue not come in. Okay, so have there been moments where you felt like one aspect was overwhelming to the other? Like maybe you didn't have time for your personal life and you were just like focused on work, 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 or there were times that it was just like work for you and your personal life was not there, and then there were times that you had to just drop work and then focus on your personal life. So were there times that, from what the person is saying, it's like, okay, you still have to maintain a balance. So if you're saying you're integrating it, were there times that one aspect took over the other? Yeah. Esther, let's start with you.
well, of course there were times. I mean, because I've never a practical example from medical school, moved to house job. House job was like another, we've never experienced it before. It's like you have no time for yourself. Even talking to my parents was a problem. Talking to person I was dating was a problem because I don't know how to do it. Even my own personal life with things I needed to do, my writing, it felt like it was overwhelmed, taking everything. Then I felt guilty at some point. But when I now got an hang of it, I was done. Like maybe the last 3 months to be done. Next thing you move to the next phase is like, what's going on here again? Another cycle of trying to sort yourself out. It's a different experience entirely. So they've been suffering. Like I'll get to a point that what do I do? Then marriage, then work, then family. Like as if my space of friends grew.
Mm,
I had my husband friends became my friends. My own friends were there. My family was there.
mm,
I had in-laws. Everybody's like, Esther, you're not calling us. And I'm like, this work is draining me. I don't even have my own time. And I just felt like, what do I do? But so they suffered. Things suffered at some point, but after a while, I had to sit down and say, okay, what is important? How do I sort? How do I balance? How do I see now the word balance again? How do I integrate or balance it? How do I pick the important people in my life? Make sure that they don't also miss out on me checking up, me being there for them. My personal life, my writing, my reading, the things I enjoy to do was not going. Then with my husband too, same thing. So I just had to sit down, and now I can say I'm getting it slowly. It's a
mm.
little bit more settled for me now.
Okay,
But
that's
they suffered. To be honest.
but in the beginning, like that, I think that's the whole point of balancing. At when you don't just get it right like the first time, you try different approach, you try to like, try this one, is it working? Try this one, is it working? You find the best one that works for you. And I think it's individual. So let's now talk about like an approach. Have you had any approach that has really worked for you in trying to maintain this balance? Like,
Okay, so sorry, I'm just going to make a comment. My mom said that integration and balancing is a keyword.
Yeah.
I think it's including it, then now trying to get them. So
Yeah.
I found that. So the approach for me, I think that I noticed started working for me is just showing up. I used to be the kind of person that I didn't. Oh, I liked my own space. I like my own time. I didn't really want to do so much.
yeah.
And adulthood, if you don't show up, people will pass you by, time will pass you by because everyone is also doing their own thing. So eventually I discovered that even if I just see your picture on Instagram or Facebook or Twitter, or I see your tweets, I just like, oh, how are you doing? Hope you're fine. Just checking on you. I just do those random check-in, like on WhatsApp. I see your status. I'm like, oh, how far? How are you? So I know that, okay, I've heard from this person, or I'm talking to this person, especially when you don't really have the time for deep conversations, maybe because of work and all of that. So I just do this random showing up. And if I can be there for somebody, or something is happening close by, I'll be there. Even if I want to sleep, I really just want to sleep. I just realized that you just have to show up. If it's work, you have to show up at work, do your work, get home, and just be there for people, honestly, and be there for yourself also. Show up for yourself too. When it's not time to rest, sleep. Don't push sleep away. Sleep when it's time to wake up, when it's time to wake up,
Yeah.
and just keep it going every day. So I think that's one approach that worked for me. I don't know.
Yeah, I agree with that. I feel like among the three of us, like personally, I feel like I'm still the one trying to like figure out a balance for myself. Because I entered a phase, especially this year for me, where there was just a lot of changes going on, and a lot of settling in, a lot of things that were not like already in place. I was just trying to figure out a lot of things for me this year. I entered new relationships and stuff like that, so it was quite hard to navigate things for me. And then I'm always that person that my family is always like, oh, well, it's a thing in my family, which I don't think is exactly healthy, but we kind of understand each other, that we do that random check, and that random check can be like once or twice in a month. Hello, how are you? Are you doing good? And then I realized that I'm getting, like Esther said, you are getting new relationships. I've entered a new workplace, or I moved to this place, and I have new friends, I have new commitments. So everybody's also expecting to, hey, you did not check up on me, so I want to check up on this one. How do I balance it? At some point I was like, okay, maybe I'm going to create like an alarm on my phone every Friday, just well, call this person, call that person, say hi to this person. And I'm still even like trying to figure it out. Yeah. But there was something that, as Ayo mentioned, that I feel like is also something that is important, and that's self-care. We're trying to, yes, maintaining relationship is good. That's cool. Maintaining your work and your, integrating your life and your work is also good. But how do you prioritize yourself? Like your own,
Mm.
trying to get time and separate for yourself. Like, oh, this is self-care day. Do you have something like that? So how do you prioritize yourself amongst all of this chaos?
Me?
Anybody can go. Actually, yeah, you could say.
Self-care. Well, let me. For me, I think it depends on what you think is self-care. For me, my own self-care is my hair care day, taking time off to just maybe go out, see people, check like my friends that I wanted to greet that I've not had time to see them. I feel like those are the things that make me feel alive, like greet people, push that thing. Um, Also catching up with my friends, calling you guys, calling every other person, how far, what's going on. I just have my Zen mode, and also Netflix, relax in the house, no noise, nobody's calling me. We're watching TV together, we have a personal time, date nights, just us. I think that's my own self care for me. Just
That's good. That's good. I think that's fair. How about you? How's self-care for you? How do you prioritize your self-care? I
My parents, um, cooking. Actually, very
deaf.
cooking is very therapeutic for me. I will just spend that entire day. I'll probably cook like four different kinds of soup or stew, and I'll make different things. I'll make puff puff, I'll bake, and I will feel very, very good with myself afterwards. And that day, I'm not like doing anything, no school, no academics, no books, nothing. I'm just Ayo. And because whenever I'm cooking, like I said, it's therapeutic for me. I go through all forms of emotions when I'm cooking. It's very therapeutic for me. So I think that's my own form of self care, cooking.
That's good. That's good. That's good. That's good. I think my old form of self-care is like typical, homebody type, because that's how I am. But yeah, like I have this free day, and I'm going to do like a full body self-care. Like I like to take care of my body a lot. So self-care for me is like literally, self-care, where I'm having that, all, I don't know, there's something they call it, whether it's all body shower or whatever. Like you just have a good shower. You are cleaning. I'm cleaning my room, doing my laundry, just the way cooking is for you. So like the fact that I'm arranging my space and everywhere smells nice, looks good, that alone feels healthy to me. And then I can now pick up my laptop, like, tune into Netflix, and I'm watching like my favorite program or something like that in a chilled room. See, I'll feel so fulfilled for that day. So whatever it is, I feel like, yeah, self-care is very important. As much as you're trying to maintain your work, your life, where also maintain other relationship with people, you have a relationship and commitment to yourself as well. And it's a healthy person that is able to give out a healthy or build healthy relationship, if I would say so. And that being said, we're about to like move to another area of the topic. So just in the next few minutes, give us advice, just something to encourage people, or things that you feel like people can do to to really navigate this work life integration or balance. Esther and Theo.
Okay, should I go first?
Sure.
Okay, let me go first. Maybe
Mm.
I think the advice I can give anyone that is struggling with this balance thing, because first of all, we're still growing,
Right.
and it keep getting more,
Yes,
you know,
yes, you evolve per time.
evolving part time. I think what I've just learned is give yourself grace and give other people grace also.
Yeah.
Whenever you notice that, oh, you're getting angry at this person for doing a certain thing and whatnot, also just try to give the person grace. You don't also know what the person is going through. The same way you are going through some things, and no, you're not announcing it to the world.
Yeah.
So a lot of times we are not really we are so quick to cut people off, especially when it's now end of the year season. Now you want to be cutting this person off for not checking on me and all those type of things. But I feel like much more relationships will thrive if you actually give the other person grace, especially for someone that you know that, okay, this person has been there for me, but maybe this particular period there's something up. So give those people grace, and also give yourself grace too. Don't be too hard on yourself. Don't be too hard on yourself, but don't be lax. Don't just
Yeah.
relax, but don't be too hard on yourself. This is coming from someone that was once a perfectionist. Everything had to be a certain way. If not, I will not be able to sleep well. But I had to realize that this life,
Yeah.
you just
Crazy.
calm down with yourself, relax, but
Mm.
don't just sit down and I'm taking it and be commending yourself every day. You will just realize that you're not doing anything, you're just procrastinating. But when it comes to doing something, in making an attempt or trying something out and you didn't get it, just yourself. That's just my own advice.
Great, great, great. How about you?
Yeah, well, um, coming from what she said, I think, as she said, give yourself grace, because I've not gotten everything yet. I'm not perfect in that part, but I have to give myself grace that you're doing great, you're doing great, you're doing well. And I feel like, and also surround yourself with people that understand, like people that know that, like people that understand you, because some people, if they don't understand you, you keep getting stressed out. Or maybe all, like what I should say is that your circle should be people that love you, to be honest. Because when you have people that love you, they understand that this is it. You are going through different phases. All of us are going through so many things, just like the way we have ourselves. I can't the way I understand that, oh, Ayo is busy, Asma is busy. Even if I truly want your attention at that point, I know that it's not your fault. Something is, well, just make sure that I know that if she has the time, she will do this. You get. So I think give yourself grace and surround yourself with good people. Also be intentional. Like, put intention to it. There's this quote I always say that where there's love, there's always time,
Yeah.
and not too much trouble. If you truly look at that word, there's always time. There's something you could have done at some point, but it's just because you are I'm tired. People should understand. But and being intentional. I mean, I'm a kind of person that likes to plan. If you know me, I like to write to-do list, what I want to do today. I may not call the person on 3 days time, but I have it on my list. Call Ayokule, call so person. As it comes to my head, I just write it down. Text this person. Something. So I keep moving it to when it's comfortable for me. Set alarms if possible, as Asma said. Um, if we're like a group of friends, I know that it's going to be hard for me to catch up. Create a group chat. Talk to everybody once. So serious writing, yes. So serious writing. or send VNs. I think voice notes works for me. If I
Yeah.
remember the person, I'll just text you. I'll just say, "Hey, what's up? How are you doing?" Just say all the things I have to say, or let's talk when you're free. Just make it as somebody said, make it like you're working as in an
Yeah.
organization. Like you have plans, you have value system, you have this. I think that helps. To be honest, on my own part.
Yeah. I
I
think
mean, that's what I'm doing.
it's very,
Yeah.
very clear. Like we've talked about, giving yourself grace and also giving the other people grace as well. Because as much as you are going through a lot, other people are going through a lot, and they're still trying to spare time for you to say hi, how are you doing, even if it's once a month. People like me, give us grace.
Improve,
and,
improve to
and I give it
important.
a lot because I used to put I imagine like what I'm going through is probably what they're going through, or even worse. So yes, that and being intentional, aside the fact that yes, we want to give each other grace, it shows that you actually think about this person when you're being intentional. Like, okay, this person is part of my plans. Like you're making plans towards creating a communication or whatever, however you want to do it. So yes, those two, and then just writing out things, setting alarms, whatever will remind you. And then with this part we talked about, this work and life. As much as we want to get money and everything, HR can always just dump you one day. So it's very important to maintain your relationship with other people. Yes, because at the end of the day, maybe your friend is still the one that will get you another job. So as much as you love your work, you still want to maintain your other relationships as well, and just try to integrate it as much as possible. The funniest thing, I feel like it's not hard to maintain, keep your work the way it's going. It's just putting that work, now mixing it with other aspects of your life, that is the problem. Because if you are supposed to be at work by 8, you will go there, you will be at work by 8, but you'll be rescheduling the party or the evening this thing you have with your friends. So the work is not the problem, it's putting that other life, with the work, that is the issue. So which is why we talked more about the relationship aspect and all of that. So
So
yeah.
can I just chip in something?
Yes.
Something that I just
Yes.
remembered is I discovered that my career is a jealous lover, whether I like it or
Mm,
not. It takes
mm.
everything from me. Medicine takes everything, and you miss out on things. I think I
In
mentioned
school.
that. And I discovered that no matter the amount of rest I say I want to have, because work has stressed me. Even when I sleep for 3 days straight and I go to work the next day, within 1 hour, the whole rest has disappeared. So why not show up for first, go for that wedding, go for that stuff. Even if tomorrow I have call, I will still be tired either way. So
Ah,
no need to be staying indoors. So I'd rather go and enjoy that time because I can't bring back that moment. I think realizing that you can't bring back those moments again with your people, with your friends, with loved ones, then go for it. Time is money.
Yes. I actually think, sorry, I just want to quickly chip this in. What Esther said just triggered a memory for
yeah.
me. Triggered I I finished medical school, and when I came out of medical school I looked like a chicken. I that life that's how I felt that life
Chicken.
like
Oh,
because when we were supposed to graduate COVID year, and then COVID came and it hit, and then our mates were graduating and all those type of things that came. And when we graduated, I came out and I just felt like a lot of things. I missed out on a lot of things from secondary school, boarding house, till medical school, family events. I didn't know family members. I didn't
Yeah.
know who.
Lord.
A lot of events because of medical school, which I'm grateful to God that yes, I'm a doctor today. We give God the glory. But ask yourself this question sometimes: at what cost? That's where I'll stop.
At what cost? Really, yeah, at the end of the day. And then that's why sometimes I'm really like even jealous of all these like people that are in tech, because they are able to, they will say that some of them are not flexible with their time, but I feel like you're flexible with your time. But with medicine you have to make a lot of commitments and all of that. But anyways, God is with us, and I feel like if some of us like that on this life also integrate this little advice and this approach that we've talked about, I feel like it would also improve. I'm also taking notes of this, and I'm working on integrating my work and life and balancing it, whichever language you like to use. Same thing. So the other aspect we're supposed to move to is actually maintaining relationship. I feel like we've kind of talked about that while talking about the work-life balance, sort of, because it's kind of integrated some sort of way. So just a few more things to just add. Was there any personal relationship that you feel like you've had that really influenced your professional growth? Like, I don't know if that question makes sense to any of you. Like, was there a personal relationship that influenced your professional growth? Ayo, Ayo is smiling, so it's as if she has. She's like, this thing spoke. Go on,
Yes, yes.
let's go.
So, um, first of all, you guys influence my professional growth. Yeah, my personal relationships. So that's the first. You guys influence my professional growth, and when we're roommates, and then we're also best friends, and we used to tell ourselves that what do you want to do? We all knew we're not going to stay in Nigeria. When we already knew before we graduated, and we always encouraged each other, shared a lot of resources, made sure like if this person was preparing for this exam, this person was preparing together. That was how. And then another personal relationship is so I have a mentor, one of my very, very wonderful mentors that helped me not just spiritually, also helped me with my own personal life, personal growth, and made me apply some principles that I was using in my personal life to my profession. And I started seeing things differently. And also Elizabeth Peters. Her one day, and I was like, oh, I think this is what I want to do. She was so happy. It was like a mutual something, and she gave me advice and guided me, and then I was able to go and do my masters, and secondly, personal relationships that help my professional growth.
Yeah.
Esther.
To ask the same question to you, Esther. We've slowly moved into career growth now. Like I said, some of the questions I actually had, I felt like we discussed, are sort of like intertwining now. So, moving on to the career growth aspect, and I just mentioned mentorship and having people that really like encourage her and stuff. So, how important do you feel like mentorship and like networking is in navigating your career growth?
Well, I think it's really, really important because I mean you don't know these things. You've not gone through that you've not gone through that
Yeah,
route before. You don't know how it is. You can only have an idea. I think we used to crack this joke that if we knew how medicine was, somebody had told us
they did.
how it was. Probably we would have either prepared well or maybe we wouldn't have done medicine. Who knows? But we are in it, which is good. We've got new why and we're happy. But at the end of the day, I think for me, I would say it's good. It's important because first of all, the Bible says that. So you have to be. The Bible says that he wants to build. A man that wants to build a house, he has to sit down and count the cost. Like you have to sit down and think, okay, I need to once you figured out what you want to do after praying to God for directions and what you want to do. God, this is what I want to do. What's the way? After you figured out, okay, I think this is the path I would do. I would go through. Then find people that have gone through that side. I think of recent I was looking for. I started trying to look for people, women that are into one because I was like, okay, I want to do obstetrics and gynecology, but I know that it's a crazy role. Like, I mean, it's crazy. It's busy, everything. People will tell you, don't do these things, very stressful, go for something simple. But at the end of the day, someone has told me before that what you wake up to every day that you love, that even when you are tired, you just you love it. I think you have passion for it. Then go for that's what you truly would want to do. And that this is quantity survey. Yes, so
Yeah.
yes, daddy. Yeah, because and then I had to look at I saw one woman one day and she's in ONG and she was just doing it. I had to go and ask her that how has this profession been for you? How have you been pulling through? And she was like, my sister, it's not easy. This. But I mean, she was able to tell me things, how to go about it. I had to find somebody. I have another mentor that is a man, but he may not be able to relate as much as answer all my questions as I wanted. So in that aspect, I was like, okay, now I can understand in the two different ways.
Mm.
And then it has given me an insight as to what I'm going into. And then you could also read books. I like to read books. Go and who they will write all their experiences in it. They've gone through this road with you and then they know the mistakes they made, the things they wish they had done better, and you could do better for them. And then with God on your side, I think it's a good package altogether.
And just to
Yeah.
add
Yeah,
have
sure.
a question about networking also
Yeah.
is proper. See,
No, forget you put that one.
network determines a lot. It determines a whole lot, and this is also coming from someone. See, let me tell you, I was not a networking person. I like to keep to myself. Everybody should stay on their lane and all of. In your professional life, the truth of the matter is you need people. You need people that have gone through a particular road before you, people that have access to certain rooms that you don't have access to. And how do you do that? You have to learn it. And I would advise that you can read on it or take courses on it. There's, even if I sit down today and talk to you about networking, it will not be like really studying how to properly network, because you have to learn how to behave in certain areas. You can't go to some places and start behaving anyhow or talking anyhow. You have to learn proper, I think it's courtesy, being classy, being demure, and not saying, not saying certain, and even in the people you meet, like the little people around you, you know, assess your level of relationships. Put everyone in their own class. This person is a colleague, this person is a friend, this person is an associate. What are these people doing in my life?
Right.
Not that person that is, and you're spending 5 hours talking on the phone of things that are completely useless. It's not adding anything of benefit to your life. You have to, you know, segregate those relationships and know what you are doing. Have people that are pulling something into your life or putting something into your life. So it's your value of network actually, you know, determine how far you really go. That's my opinion.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
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 And
Like,
networking advantageous
mm,
connections. I think that's
mm,
one thing I've
mm,
learned. The advantageous
mm.
connections. I mean, as I just said, where you cannot go, some net people that you know will take you there.
True.
And as you see it, God is setting your path to also to where you wants to take you. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with both of you, like very, very well. And in another angle, yeah, this networking and mentorship and all, another angle to look at it is like if you don't ask questions, right? It's still the same thing as networking. You might not know certain things. You might not even know that you'll be able to enter this room. I have like my sister, let me know if I have a relative, but I was like, my sister, she's always that person that's always like, go for it. You know, just be confident and just enter this room and tell them that this is what I'm looking for. This is what I want, and I'm seeking help for this. And she was like, what's the worst that can happen? They'll tell you no. But you tried. So, and it's very important for you to have like a mentor. Not everybody believes in mentors, but maybe the concept of it is what people don't understand. We're not saying someone should be your alpha and omega of the area, because the person is also a human being. He just, at least I'm speaking for myself, I believe like you are just having someone that you are looking up to, that can guide you, but the person is not
Mm.
just, maybe this person took, walk through fire to get to where he is, and he's now forcing you to walk through that fire when there's a way to walk through water. You understand? So that there's a way people do mentorship, especially in Nigeria, do mentorship somehow. But what we're saying is have someone that is guiding you, be able to ask questions, be able to sell yourself in a room, network, talk to people. Oh, this is me, or I'm doing my master's in this. So have you done a master's in this? I saw that you have a master's in this. How did you navigate it? What school did you go to? How did you, or I'm interested in having a master's in this. How did you go about it? I would like to go about it the same way. Or is there anything you want to add, anything help? And recently, in the aspect of my life I am now, I really felt like I lost out on being able to know something just because I did not ask questions. And that was a hard lesson I had to learn in this aspect of my life now. So I was like, next time, if now, say, if any small thing I'm calling anybody, I'm not ashamed. So people be like, oh, you've not talked for years. Why are you asking me? But we ask you question. If you don't want to answer me, I'll say, okay, no problem. I understand I've not spoken to you in a while. But if I feel this person is going to help me, go ahead and ask questions. Nothing's going to happen. And the funniest thing is that you'll be surprised how people are willing to help you. How that network you got will just move you to a bigger place. Person just be like, oh, I know the Minister of Affairs. And you just get one post. I know I'm digressing, but yeah, you get what I'm trying to say. So it's very important to like talk and speak up wherever you are, and also have someone to guide and mentor you to really help in career
Yeah.
progression. So
So,
another thing is
so, sorry. Let me tell you one thing I remembered.
mm,
Remember the time that we saw the guy in the engineering building?
I remember.
I became
I
going
wanted to
round
take pictures with him and
and
they
we
were blocking,
went to
and we
meet
went
him.
directly.
It's only three of us already take pictures, and guess what? That's when everybody knew. They could not say it, but
Yeah.
when we finished saying that, so I would like to take a picture with you, and it was like, oh, come, come, and then every other person now pushed us to the side. So you all had it in mind to take a picture, but you couldn't talk.
That is
Yeah, it's very important.
That's basically networking.
Yeah, I remember. That's actually true. I forgot we were very bold in school. Yeah, we're still bold and confident. So the thing is, like we've talked about, how mentorship is. I think we've talked about the encouraging, the good aspect, the positive aspect. But another thing we forget to talk about, or people forget to highlight, is this period of, like, when you have like period of stagnation in your career, or you feel I'm not moving forward, or you are moving forward and suddenly you have a setback. So how are you able, have that happened to you? That's one. And how were you able to stay motivated and say, oh, I can do this? And did you overcome that setback or stagnation?
Well,
Oh, Esther is ready.
I
Esther,
think,
let's go, Esther.
I think, I think, well, for me, what helped me is that I looked at it this way. We've all been moving from a space of from primary school, secondary school. Like there was always a way from secondary school to uni. There was a plan.
Yeah,
But what I put myself after uni like this, everybody's running their race
yeah.
at their own pace. If we should look at where everybody is now and where we are, I mean, some people have gone really like they've done like almost two masters. Some people, it, I mean, it has changed, but because we are moving from 100 level to 200 level, we're feeling like that's how we should be going. That's the way when we finish school. And again, another thing that kind of made it worse for us was house job was 1 year, so everybody moved again NYSC. But some people skip the NYSC now. They've done masters. They're already working. They've moved further ahead of you. You don't have to. So I just told myself, now it's your own time. You've been following the organized race, organized arrangement. So if you look at it that way, I think it gives you
yeah,
peace. You're running at your own race. There's no competition. And I feel because if you keep comparing, I think comparison is the tip of joy. Keep comparing yourself. I will see this lady, she has given birth to three kids. She has finished her master's and PhD, and she has moved to whatever country. And then you're looking at yourself. You don't appreciate what level of growth you trivialize it because you feel like you're not growing, but that's your own space, that's your own pace. I think you should not look at it as stagnation. I think you should look at it as even if you failed, well, stand up again and continue and move on. But don't compare yourself with if I had done it because it happened to me something. I think, well, man, if I had done this thing earlier, maybe I'll be there now, I'll be where. Oh, everybody's time. I feel everybody's time is different. That's why I just feel don't look at it as stagnation, look at it as your own
right,
pace. There's a time for every person.
right.
Someone is looking at where you are now and wish they were at that point where you are. Whereas you're looking at somebody else. So how do we
Yeah, run your own.
monitor the
Yeah,
regimented life is going to run your own race? We're no more regimented, that's the word. Now it's your own race, individual. Even among friends, everybody has their time. I feel
yeah,
that's it for me.
yeah. Good one. Ayo. Yeah, I would still love to hear what you have to say.
Yeah, I think I started 4 months after the, in quotes, when people were supposed to start. And NYSC too, people passed out before me, different things. But there's one Bible verse that keeps me, all things work together. And I had to realize that, God is the one writing my story. And my
Mhm.
own, your chapter 10, your own chapter 10 may be my chapter, you know. So God knows how it's all going to work out. I'm not going to put pressure on myself by looking at another person. How am I sure that that person is even on time? Who even created the time? Is it not God that created the time? So
God.
if I'm serving God, then let Him direct my own time. Why am I'm looking at one person and saying, that one? So, like Esther said, perspective also matters. Don't look at it as a form of stagnation. You can also be learning something just because maybe you wrote an exam failed, you think, oh, my life is stagnant. Why? Always find the purpose in that pain. I failed an exam recently and it was very devastating. Like, I was thinking that, God, where will I start from? What's going to happen? So many things. I had already planned my life in my head.
Yeah,
And Holy Spirit had to remind me, you're not the owner of your life. So just
Exactly.
down, calm down, calm. All things work together for good. What are you going to learn from that experience that is happening? If you've been applying for a job and you've been getting rejections and rejections and rejections, and I know it may be hard, it may be a bit sad, and seeing all those unfortunately.
Right.
But what character development are you getting from that? I think there's also a Bible verse that says that, like, from our endurance, faith is there, all those type of things. Yes. So are you also building character in that moment? What are you? I see everything that happens to me as an opportunity to learn. That is it. Even if it's something that I know that the way you did this thing, I still see it as an opportunity to learn. There's always a moral lesson for me. So I feel like our perspective matters. The way we see things matters. It will help you a lot. You'll be able to sleep well at night. Some people may be seeing it as delay. You are seeing it as God is teaching me. He's taking me through the school of patience.
Mm-hmm.
You see the difference. So you are.
Mm-hmm.
But God is saving me from some things that I don't know.
Yeah.
So I think that's just my own idea of stagnation.
Yeah, you guys have said very, very wise words, very wise words. And I think all this, problem with setbacks or calling anything stagnation, it all comes from comparison. Is one person, just because one person's own was going certain way, you've now put your own, you are comparing it to that. Like, if there was nothing, if everybody was like in this life and you're just like flowing on your own, you're focused on yourself and you're not looking at anybody else, we'll have less feeling of depression just because you're not moving forward. Is when is that comparison that causes the problem. You feel like, oh, this is see this person, like you were saying now, she has, she's married, she has everything together, she has done her masters, everything just feels, and she's my age mate, and look at me at my age, I've not gone. That
I
is where the problem. That's comparing yourself with that person. So if that person didn't exist, or exist rather, and if that, whole concept of this is who told you that that's the standard in the first place? Yeah, it looks good, it looks nice,
Standard.
but that is, and the
Good.
funniest, all these like people that are already successful, they've had periods of like bad periods. In fact, they might just be having their own success now, and later something else is going to, test them. So that's what I'll call it, a test. Like, and you, like I have said as well, you see every period of your life, like God's trying to teach you something, or maybe it's going to try and teach you patience. Like, for example, I feel like sometimes God is like, oh, you've not learned this aspect, and it's part of your character development for when you get to this level, so that you'll be able to tell people that this is how I survived this. So yes, and it's the truth. So whatever aspect your wherever whatever is going on in your life, just see it as a learning session, like I said. And also, don't compare. I think those two things are very important. Just see what can you learn from this. Oh, I am supposed to write this exam and I did not prepare well for this exam. That's a very classical thing to learn. Next time you prepare better. And even if you prepare better, build the maybe there's still something you didn't do well, or maybe it wasn't just your time at that time. God did not want you to pass the exam for that time, or God wanted you to learn something that, oh, you too, you can fail. Oh, you've been passing since, and not like that. Oh, I know. I know for real. Like,
Mm.
everything is rosy. When you're living in the moment, it's always like tough to understand, because I've, everybody, I feel like individually everybody has been in that phase and like, why did this happen to me? But after some time, when you reflect on it, you're like, okay, yes, this makes sense. And again, another thing to add aside the comparison and learning from it is to also be very, very appreciative of what you've achieved. Okay, if you let's look at a very, very small achievement now. No, things that we've done, you finished school, all those things, that's big for some people. But the fact that you were even able to go through a day and you didn't get injured, you didn't fall ill, you slept well, you woke up in the next morning, that is a very good achievement. Because there's some people that just woke up all of a sudden, they can't move their body. People always trivialize things like going to sleep and waking up well, but those are achievements. I'm bringing it to that small level so that you know how big some of your achievements are. That you went through school, you graduated, for your parents to even, you know, take you through school, or some people that had to fend for themselves through school. For you to be able to do that, that's a lot. So just because you did not get this admission to this school, or just because you didn't, just all those other things that happen that you are just major to you at that time, you feel like, everything else is zero. Why did God now bring me to, is that what you're trying to say? Why did God now bring me to this point? But you're forgetting that God that brought you to that point can also move you past this point. But
Wow.
that's
Hmm.
so
Thank you.
just be positive.
Lessons.
Don't compare yourself to anybody. Everybody story is different. See people, there are people that are getting known at 93. Some people will say, what's the point? But the point is it still happened. That's the point. I still got what I wanted, even if it was at 93. That's
You,
the point.
you at 93.
Exactly. So yeah, so just to have a positive outlook on everything. I think like we've spoken like good words, and I hope the people in our life, people keep reducing from 8 to 12, but people that have been with us, that have been listening to us since 6 o'clock. Thank you. Oh. Please
So
throwing like,
I
just
guess network issues for some people
yeah,
sometimes.
yeah, yeah, that's true.
Oh,
Okay, basically talked about a lot of things. I feel like we can open up the floor for questions, comments. Let's see what you are thinking or what you also have. Do you have thoughts on this thriving in adulthood? Do you have something to add? You can just post at the comments. We'll just say it out loud. If we
Yeah.
don't get it, no problem. We'll talk to us. But people can
Any comment?
age,
comments,
comment.
please. What has worked for you to know?
Yeah,
I mean, I
yeah.
think
Maybe
we're all figuring it out.
like what major setbacks have you had? I think that's be an interesting thing to say. Or if you don't want to talk about your setbacks, or you don't want to call it setbacks, how have you been able to balance your work and life? Because that's basically what we're talking about today. How have you been able to thrive in your adulthood, even if
Mm.
Any
um
comment?
And also friendships too, like
yeah,
relationships that you have. I
that's
think most people struggle with
about
that aspect. I think we have it all figured out when it comes to work, but your friendships are important. As you said, HR can chase you today, but your friends, who is there with you?
Another thing
exact.
for questions and comments is that there's this thing that just came to my head when we're talking about work. You focus so much on relationships, but do not overextend yourself. Nobody will give you gifts for overextending yourself, especially at your workplace. If they tell you work is 8 a.m. to 4 p.m., make sure you come so valuable that 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. they will miss you if you're not there. Like they'll be looking for you. Oh my god, oh my god. But when is it 4:10 or even why are you still
4 or 5.
7? You're still there. 7 p.m. you're still there. So please do not. I'm telling you, be valuable. And when you become valuable, you will not need to be overcompensating by being at your workplace when you're not supposed to be. You don't work weekends, but you are replying to emails during the week. They won't give you extra money. Let me just tell you now.
True,
How
true.
tough has it?
Living witness here. So
That is asking a question, I think.
how tough has it been keeping your friendship? Honestly, especially this period start
Yeah, I think there's
off. Okay, yeah, it's actually
network
been
issue.
tough because
Network
I'm
issue.
going to speak in the like. I feel like we should talk about it subjectively.
Mm-hmm.
Yes,
Okay.
like like I said, it's very hard for me. I feel like I've had that a kind of routine life. Oh, I know I'm supposed to be here, and then all of a sudden things have changed. Certain things have changed, and I'm just having to do a lot at the same time. I'm like, yes, I'm an adult now, truly, truly. And the funny story is, more things are still going to come. So how am I going to do that?
Bigger stuff.
Be hard, but how I've tried to maintain it is like no matter what, we have like a group chat, obviously, to make things easier to communicate. We have a group chat, and in that group chat, I think the person that usually Ayo has time to send like more messages. My work takes most of my time. So whenever, even if I'm at work and I see the message, when I'm able to reply it, I reply it immediately. I try not to procrastinate some things because as I was saying I should do this, I should just try to do it immediately so that I don't forget. And I try to like just find time to basically reply messages and talk. And sometimes when I'm free, there are times when I'm also free. I'm not always working. And I'm like, oh hi, how are you guys? Just checking up on you. How's everybody doing? Just basically being there. And the funniest thing is I feel like we talk every day. I've not seen a day that we not, even if the chat is not serious, we always try to reach out. It can be me that reached out, it can be Esther that reached out. Usually Ayo reaches out. Love you. But yeah, we just try to like have a conversation at least in a day once. Hi, hello. And it's always usually more than hi, hello. But yeah, I think we've tried. I don't think there's been a day that we don't say hi, hello to each other. How are you?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So we've
Mm,
been.
so out of well, I'm trying to reason the question like how tough. I feel like we've passed that tough,
Yes,
like that phase
just
of
understanding now.
yeah. We've okay. So I think the tough time was when we were so used to being by ourselves. We talk a lot, but then when we started going into relationships, that was the I feel like that was the shaking part because it's like oh Esther doesn't have our time anymore. I don't have I'm trying to balance I'm talking to him, then that phase and we've all settled in properly. We know that every day, as Asma said, even if it's there's always an I or hello. Even if it's as intentional, I'm going out. This is my mistake. It's just being involved in what's going on with your day as we used to when we were roommates. I think we just carried it to WhatsApp. We carried it to our chats. Even in fact, there's WhatsApp, there's group everywhere. All the social media, there's group. Instagram, there's group. Twitter, there's group. Everywhere there's group. So we may not talk on WhatsApp, but we may talk on Instagram. Something funny, something. So we're just intentional about communications, and I think it's the same thing you do when you're in a relationship. So it's friendship is a relationship. I mean, then when you're with somebody the opposite sex, it's also a relationship. I think is we've learned the act of communicating with ourselves, and that also transferred into our like relationship now, love relationships. So that's helped us to just communicate. Even if you're cooking rice, send the picture. You guys, this is my dinner.
Yeah,
This is my lunch. You
same.
guys, how do I just it was just a go-to and again practical example, I pinned my chat. It's just up so that it doesn't go down my chat. So it's deal even if I have 1,000 messages,
Always keep each other in the loop. Like even no matter how busy we are, we always keep each other in the loop. If like I think my brother's wedding now, it still felt like they were, even though they were not there, but we were just keeping each other in the loop. Like okay, this was
we're
send
there, we're there through you.
Very.
we send a lot of voice. When I'm sleeping, as someone can send a voice up, I'll listen, I'll respond. That's how we've been able to cope, especially with time difference. Because I won't lie, when I, relocated, time difference was a bit shaky for me because everybody that I loved, my loved ones and my family members, my friends were all in the same time zone, but I was outside that time zone, and it was hard to communicate, and I felt like they were abandoning me at one point. I my feelings known, and we worked it out. Like we just had to realize that okay, this is this person's time. Like they said, a day does not pass. We always say something. We have group chat on Twitter, Instagram, and WhatsApp and Telegram.
And Telegram. Yeah. So everywhere.
I always. So yeah, that's it, and I feel like also just take notes from this. We're not getting like other questions, but this question kind of encompasses the whole thing we will be talking about because we always try to relate it with our own personal life. So these are things that are practically working for us. So I think key points. Yeah, key points because we'll be rounding up in a few minutes. Key points that I feel that I take away from this discussion is one, try to maintain your personal relationship as much as you can, being intentional about maintaining the relationship, like taking out time to visit your friends, to message your friends, drop how are you, hi, hello. Also prioritizing yourself care. Yes, yourself, prioritizing yourself as well, because I believe if you are, able to be happy or feel good in yourself, you'll be able to. That's when because most times when I'm okay, when I'm chill, that's when I also remember, this person, how is this person too? You understand? So it's like that. So you prioritize your self care, and in terms of like work, for career progression, it's good to have like a mentor. You should also have good networking skills, be confident in any room you stand, whatever it is, be able to sell yourself. There are people. Who's this popular person that became popular? I think it was what, Fish Pie. You can see just because of the way he's singing his Fish Pie. I don't know whoever knew about it. So the guy, and then just hold and speak out, or sell your market. So be confident in any room. Try to create your network, and yeah, and have someone guiding you. It's always good to get people guiding you, because definitely whatever situation, whatever kind of business or whatever you're doing, somebody would have done it before. So it's guidance is also good. Don't ever see any aspect of your life as a period of like, oh, stagnation or setback. And even if it is, always try to move past it, see what you can do, and help in your progress. And don't compare yourself to others. Everybody has their own personal story, and God's always going to be there to guide you. And in whatever aspects. What other things have I not mentioned? Are you honest? I can't also chip in 18 or 2, close the life.
I just want to thank my parents. This is just like a shout out to my
Yeah,
parents. They are like most
that they are here. They're best fans, by the way.
like
Now, guess fans.
biggest fans. Honestly, my dad, my mom, I don't think I would have been where I am today without them, because they saw my talent, from when I was little. My dad would always tell me, be bold, be confident. And then my mom, she would always mark my essays. My English must be like this. I must speak like this. But then, they both supported us, they supported, and they took my friends like sisters,
Yeah.
yeah.
I think they made our parents even
Yes.
friends. Like, it's
Yeah.
like,
Yeah. I saw aside from some of us, like my friends are not like social media people, but I know there's always going to be something that would
Bring us,
make
yeah,
everything
yeah.
just really
go. Yeah,
thank
for sure.
you to everyone that joined this live also. Like, thank you guys for
Thank
support.
you all for coming.
Olive
I
Branch
hope
has,
you learned one or two things.
Yeah.
I hope you did.
Yes.
Hey,
Thank you. Shout out to everybody that's been in our life, and I feel like you also spread love to people that are in your life. If you've not said hi or hello to your friends today, please say hi, hello
say it
to
now.
them.
Say it
And if
today.
you've not said
Now.
in a while, like maybe spa, whatever you enjoy doing for yourself, please don't forget to do that for yourself today, tomorrow. I know we're starting work on Monday, but it doesn't mean anything. You can still go after work and go and do something else and just enjoy
Who are
yourself.
the solo days?
So please, so just be happy, stay happy, stay blessed. And as we're rounding up, we're going to have more of these discussions coming up, and we'll be doing more of like spreading it, the news, for a long period of time. So we'll have more crowd coming in, and just be having different discussions. You can always like DM us if you want to collaborate, with us, and you could also, send in topics that you would like us to talk about, so that we'll be having these discussions. I know that you also like to see our faces more often, so we'd like to
Yeah,
this. So just send us things, send us whatever is interesting that you want us to talk about. We can always talk about it. And if you want to collaborate with Olive Branch as well, you can always collaborate with us. We're just all about spreading peace, impacting people, impacting knowledge, and just building a greater future for the young ones in every aspect.
yeah,
There's more to come, more to come, more to come. So see you in
yeah.
another.
I think in a bit of us to being intentional with our relationship with Olive Branch um
Yeah.
lovers, that is why we also do this, because we also don't want to throw, we don't take you for
Oh,
granted. I
at all.
mean, we can't just be writing and writing and not saying also. This is also us building our relationship in this
Yes.
part also.
So
Also
be
integrating this
our
to make sure
relationship.
that, yeah.
Yeah. So
Okay.
any more closing the live?
I close the live, going,
Okay.
going.
See you. Please
Bye. Till
read the
next.
blog, check the
Check
blog,
the
read
blog. Yes, please.
the
Yes.
beautiful things
Yes.
there.
Follow us. Engage us. We have lots of plenty things coming up. Oh, you'll be seeing more of us. Just watch the space as you keep
Yeah.
you're doing. Yeah. So
All right. Bye bye, everyone.
Guys.
Yeah. Bye.